and welcome to the Babysitters here. Today we are celebrating Halloween. We will read The Little Ghost Who Was a Quilt, and then we'll make Lollipop ghosts.
Happy Halloween!
Welcome back. Please don't forget to click subscribe in the box below if you have fun today, and also click like if you have fun today. Have you ever felt different? Once I was invited to a costume party, but no one told me it was a costume party. So I felt really different and really out of place in my normal clothes. Let's read The Little Ghost Who Was a Quilt. He knows a little something about this. The Little Ghost Who Was a Quilt by Real Nason, courtesy Tundra Publishing. Once there was a little ghost who was a quilt. He didn't know why he was a quilt. His mom and dad and all his friends were sheets. They were light as air, and they flew high and fast and twirled and whirled in the sky. The little ghost who was a quilt was heavy because of his layers of fabric. It was hard for him to lift off, and he was a slow flyer. He got hot and sweaty when he tried to go faster. The only time he attempted to twirl and whirl, it didn't end well. One day, he and his friends were at the park when they heard someone coming. The others zoomed away because ghosts are terrified of people, but the little ghost couldn't escape quickly enough. He flopped over a bench. A family came along, and a little boy who was eating an ice cream cone sat down beside him. The little ghost had never been so close to a human before, and he felt fear in every fiber of his fabric. The boy only stayed a few minutes, but he dropped a big blob of melted ice cream right on the little ghost's face. Later, when the other ghosts saw him, they laughed at the stain on his forehead. The little ghost was embarrassed and also very sticky. The little ghost didn't like being different. His mom told him he had an ancestor who was a checkered tablecloth, and his great-grandmother was an elegant lace curtain. Everyone said she was the most beautiful ghost they'd ever seen. Even knowing that, the little ghost didn't feel any better. He wished he was just one fabric and not a whole bunch of squares sewn together. The other ghosts called him Scrappy, and he didn't like that. But there was one day that always cheered him up: Halloween! People seemed excited about ghosts on Halloween, and sometimes children dressed as them to trick or treat. Every year, the ghosts went to watch the festivities. They stayed silent and still in the trees and pretended to be decorations, far away from any humans. Too heavy to hover, the little ghost who was a quilt usually draped himself over a clothesline. He never had a very good view. This year, he had a better plan. He remembered how close he had been to the boy at the park, so he decided he would be brave and fold himself over a chair on a porch, right in the center of the action. Halloween night came, and the little ghost flew as fast as he could, but he was only halfway across a lawn when he heard people coming. At the last possible second, he flopped over the porch rail. A mom walked up the driveway with a little girl dressed as a ballerina. While the girl trick-or-treated, the mother asked the man at the door something. The next thing the little ghost knew, the mom had picked him up. He was so scared, he thought his seams might come unstitched. The mom wrapped the little ghost around the girl and put them both in a wagon. The girl had been cold, and now the little ghost was keeping her warm. He could hardly believe what was happening. They headed down the street past his friends in their tree. "No, don't go," one whispered. "What are you doing?" The little ghost decided to fly away as soon as the girl got out of the wagon to trick or treat again. But the mom didn't turn into the next yard, or the 3 after that. By the time she finally walked up to a house, the little ghost was panicking. How would he get away? The mother parked the wagon and carried the girl and the little ghost into the house. The little ghost didn't know what to do. He reminded himself to stay calm and be brave. The little ghost peeked around the room. There were Halloween decorations everywhere. He even saw a branch trimmed with lollipop ghosts. They looked just like his friends in the tree. The girl tucked the little ghost, who was a quilt, under her legs as she sorted her candy into piles. He felt surprisingly cozy. Maybe things would turn out okay after all. The girl ate a chocolate bar, and when she wiped her sticky fingers on the little ghost, he didn't even mind. After the little girl was asleep upstairs, her mom gently folded the little ghost, who was a quilt. She smiled and admired his fabrics and traced her finger along a line of his stitching. It tickled. She set the little ghost on the couch and went upstairs too. When she was gone, he flew into the fireplace and out the chimney. His smile was 3 squares wide. The little ghost's friends cheered and rushed over to him. They were amazed by his courage and wanted to hear every detail of his adventure. They flew slowly along with him all the way home. The little ghost was so happy that he felt like he was floating without even trying. Everything that had happened was because he was a little bit different. Everything had happened because he was a quilt. So the little ghost felt different and very out of place. Has that ever happened to you? Maybe all the kids at your school like football, but you don't. Maybe you're the only kid in your class who wears glasses. But remember, the little ghost ended up feeling so useful and having an adventure because he was different. Different doesn't have to be a bad thing. The house of the little girl that the little ghost ended up going to had lollipop ghosts in it. So I thought, let's make lollipop ghosts today. You will probably need a grown-up to help you gather these materials. You will need a lollipop. If you don't have a lollipop, you can always use a cotton ball or a ping pong ball, something round. You will need some sort of tissue paper or a napkin or paper towel, Kleenex, or even a coffee filter. You will also need a pen or a pencil or crayons, some string or ribbon, and scissors to cut that string or ribbon. Remember, the little ghost was a quilt. He was not a solid white sheet. So feel free to have fun and decorate your ghost however you like. So go ahead and hit pause, gather your supplies if you haven't done so already. So today I've decided to use a Tootsie Pop and some tissue paper. The tissue paper was too big to begin with, so I had to cut it down to a smaller size. I also picked these colors because they remind me of the little ghost who was a quilt. First, I'm going to take my lollipop and wrap some tissue paper around it, just like this. Then I'm going to take some string and tie it around the base of the lollipop so it stays tied. This creates the head of the ghost. You might need an adult to help you cut that string. Then I'm going to take a pen or crayon or marker and draw a face on my ghost. My ghost is feeling happy today. And there you go. It's a lollipop ghost. Thank you so much for joining me today. I had fun. I hope you had fun. And please have a safe and fun Halloween.